Hey guys, welcome to today's video. And if you're new to the channel, don't wait till the end. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and smash that thumbs up if you're accustomed to liking my videos so you don't forget at the end. Look, it takes a little bit of effort from you, means a whole lot to me, and it really helps grow the channel. So we're gonna jump right into today's video. And for today's video, I gotta use my phone. Here's why. If you haven't done so yet, look up at the top of the channel and click on the community tab. I post questions on there asking you guys what videos you wanna see, and I plan on making that a big part of the format here on the channel. I'm gonna start vlogging because there's been an unbelievable number of requests for that. And so because I'm gonna do that, I don't wanna just do vlog about my lifestyle. I wanna do vlog where I intersperse answering your questions, shout outs and things like that, because let's face it, you guys are a big part of my life and it makes sense for me to do that. So let's jump right into this question. This question comes from Adventures 101, and he said, choosing the right color for fall fishing bite. All right, so I know what he meant there, even though it wasn't framed as a question, so I'm not gonna play the Jeopardy game and say, you didn't ask it in the form of a question. Here's what it really boils down to for me. Fall means different things to different people in different parts of the country. In the South, the fall kind of comes on real slow and lasts for months. Up north, sometimes the fall lasts 3 weeks and you're already into winter. Out west, it might last all winter and you never get a winter. You know, it just depends on where you are. So I'm gonna answer this question based on, you know, the overall conditional changes that are happening during the fall and let you adjust that for where you're fishing and the type of fishing that you're doing. One of the things that starts to happen in the fall, especially later fall as you're transitioning into winter, is a thing called turnover. What turnover is as the overnight lows cool the night air, it cools the surface layer of the water. Cold water is heavier than warm water. So through the night, as that happens, and then through the next day, that colder water, which is heavier, sinks to the bottom and it forces the warm water to the top. Kind of like that experiment you did in elementary school where you put different temperatures of water with different food coloring in them and you watch them stack up in the glass. If you didn't do that, you were robbed of a very beneficial experience in elementary school, and I can't help you there, but you can play with it now. You can put red food coloring in a cold water glass and green food coloring in a warm water glass and dump it in there and just kind of watch it stratify or stack up. Anyway, so what happens in turnover though is as that cold water is sinking to the bottom and forcing that warm water to the top, it creates turbidity, especially down on the bottom. So if the bottom is a lot of leaf litter, it's gonna kick that leaf litter up off the bottom. If the bottom is mud, it's gonna kick that mud up off the bottom. By and large, what the mistake a lot of people make early on is they go deep too soon. And what I mean by that is, you know, bass in the fall are trying to feed up. They're trying to put on weight. So they're gonna move into that cooler water to slow their metabolism down so that they conserve energy. But when they get ready to feed, that bait fish is gonna be in that warmer water, so they're gonna move up. So a lot of times I find people fishing too deep too soon, or fishing too deep at the wrong time. So let's get back to the topic. We'll cover that in another video, but let's get back to the topic at hand, and that is color. The reason that I bring all this up and the reason I went around my elbow to get to my butt is simple. I don't fish color based on gimmicks. I don't fish color based on trying to sell you the latest, greatest, hyped up thing. You know, in fact, some of my sponsors send me lures that I never use because I really find some staples and I kind of stick with them. I like natural stuff. I like stuff that contrasts. And so by and large, I'm going with contrast, especially in the fall, more so than any other time of the year. And so the contrast can be 2 or 3 different ways of looking at it. So if I'm fishing a look up presentation, right? And the fish are gonna be looking up and the sky is overcast, then I'm gonna fish something that contrasts against that sky. So if I'm fishing a crankbait, a chatterbait, a fluke, something that is a power fishing presentation, I wanna contrast that sky. If I'm fishing a bottom dragging presentation, then I'm gonna fish something that's gonna contrast the bottom. If I'm fishing over a sand spot, like off this point to my left, then I'm gonna throw something, you know, that contrasts that sand, maybe a dark green pumpkin, a black. if I'm fishing a mossy green coontail bottom, I don't want to throw pumpkin seed green in there because it's practically going to disappear. There's a couple ways that you can fix that. You can let it hit the grass and rip it out of there, and that kicks up a lot of silt and it makes the lure show up to the fish. But I choose contrast more so than playing that game in a lot of cases. And there's a lot of things that will get you contrast. Black, red. Keep in mind though, red, the deeper you go, that red starts to disappear, so you lose some of that contrast. So we're in October right now here in Tennessee, and I've got a little saying that I tell everybody. It's called Red Hot October, right? You can't go wrong almost anywhere in the South with a Guntersville crawl or Okeechobee crawl. I'm a little more partial early on to the Okeechobee crawl because it's got a little more yellow orange in it, and I'm a little more partial to the Guntersville crawl, a little more red, dark brown, and black a little bit later in the fall as we start to transition into the winter. So again, I'm more looking for contrast, and so should you. The bass's eye is a unique thing, right? The bass has the ability to see a lot better than we do in a lot of cases. They have a higher critical flicker factor. And what happens is, as the water starts to cool off, a bass's vision gets more acute, means it gets better, okay? And so when it's transitioning though, there's a weird little deadband in there that a lot of studies that I've read say that bass's vision until the water stabilizes below 70 degrees can sometimes get a little screwy, and they depend a little bit more on their lateral line. So that means that those baits that create vibration, thump, you know, that create a sound signature in the water are going to be the baits that do you the best then, a lot like fishing for bass at night. But to answer this question, Adventures 101 posed, color for me is about contrast. So know what you're fishing, know what conditions you're fishing. If I'm dragging a lure up over a log and that log is dark black, I'm probably going to go green pumpkin, black fleck, green pumpkin, emerald fleck. I like green pumpkin, gold fleck this time of year. It just does really well. And you know, maybe even a little bit lighter pumpkin seed to contrast against that darker background. If I'm fishing a log jam, I don't really want to fish black on the log jam. Now, if I'm fishing sand and mussel around a log jam, then I'll fish black, blue, and that'll contrast the bottom. So again, keep in mind what it is you're trying to contrast, and when you put that contrast into play and you think about where you're going to be presenting your lure and how the bass is going to be looking at it, get that contrast down and you're going to catch more fish. It doesn't matter what fancy color or name or gimmick that a manufacturer uses. It really is more about the contrast. A light lure against a dark background, sky or bottom, a dark lure against a light background, sky or bottom, and that's going to produce more fish for you. So again, hope you guys loved the video today. Smash that thumbs up button if you did. As always, thanks for all the support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And do me a favor, recommend the channel to a friend that's learning to fish, that wants to be entertained. And you guys, do me a favor and take somebody else fishing, all right? Take somebody else fishing and pass on to them what I'm passing along to you. And if each one of us can reach one and each one of us can teach one, we'll create a better, more harmonious community. We'll stop fighting at boat ramps and running over the top of each other out on the lake. And, you know, it's fishing. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful. It's not supposed to be a brawl. It's definitely not supposed to be a dogfight. So, you know, give your buddy the right of way on that bank that you were heading down. Go find a better spot. And, you know, you might not catch as many fish, but you'll definitely leave the water a lot more relaxed, a lot more fulfilled, and who knows, maybe it kicks in and you get the next bank and that's where you catch that personal best or fish of a lifetime. So anyway, love y'all. See you next time, and get out there and catch some fish. Stop watching me. Like, go do it. Go get some of that time on the water.